Hello. Excuse me. Excuse me? You're gonna try and derail the start of the stream with that? That level of interruption?
I continue.
Okay.
What the fuck is Will doing?
Yeah, I was just watching Will that entire time.
I'm just gonna ignore.
Wait, his internet died. Will's internet died.
Ignore that. Okay, good, great, good. Oh, I love it.
Holding perfectly still.
This kind of shit show is reserved purely for Wednesdays. This is not an appropriate time for that. Chat, we'll be back in a bit. Hi.
I did say Borf games too earlier. I didn't even mean to. That's
okay. We're good.
Oh.
I did not even mean to say that at the beginning of stream. That just did not click in my brain that we were starting. And then I was like, wait, did I say Borf games? And I just went back and checked the chat. And I was like, you know what? My phone auto-corrected to Borf.
Your phone auto-corrected board games to Borf games. Good.
Yeah.
Great. Beautiful. Hey, William.
I'm very sorry about that. My internet decided they didn't want to.
It was a really... I was like half convinced it was a deliberate bit, like you'd frozen your camera deliberately.
I thought you were
It was
frozen.
such a good frame.
Like you were doing that,
Yeah, no.
deliberately.
No, I'm just a person who has bad internet, apparently.
Good,
Oh, that
great,
was
good.
Great. That was such hilarious.
Anyway. Welcome to the show. We're gonna continue playing Star Wars today. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about this game.
Me too.
And all that comes with it. Play some Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Your Jawas and Harrison Ford. Right. I don't know what that was either.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Funnily enough, sounds like a Star Wars name.
Does actually, yeah.
A little bit.
So,
A little bit.
without further ado, why don't we get right to it? First of all, we'll quickly describe last week. Jack's ship, the Thranta, which is a light freighter, landed in Grey Market with his crew member Voka. Grey Market is basically a smuggler's haven hidden in a nebula, a little space station where smugglers, bounty hunters, all those sorts of peeps do their business. While you're there, you needed to get a new astromech, which involved you getting Gratz, who is not an astromech. Gratz being a kind of grifter that you find on the planet and basically going, hey, look, I'm coming with you. I have skills here. You're stuck with me now, bitch. By the time you left Grey Market, you ended up with quite a larger party. You entered with just Jack and Voka, and now you have Gratz, Carrie, and R5-T3. Because you were looking for a astromech that escaped. In the process, you found a bounty hunting droid who was also looking for it, who, for now, is just willing to kind of join you until she can get what she needs. But in the process of doing that, the Empire has befallen upon Grey Market, complete with a Star Destroyer that seems to be able to disable hyperdrives. It was incredibly difficult to escape, but you managed to outrun the TIE fighters, get out of range, and blast into hyperspace. And that is where we start today, with you please rolling your Destiny dice. That is 1 Force dice. And that is the white one in the middle.
Oh, no.
Thank you. I like that.
Oh, well, we got one at least.
You got 1 light side point. Excellent.
Make sure to sync your pool with the GM.
That is a good point. I've also been given some advice on how to actually run this game using the GM dice pool, so that's pretty great. We can begin in earnest. As you punch into hyperspace, leaving Grey Market. There's that moment of relaxing, and then the shutters start to go down in the cockpit, and all of you actually are in the cockpit because it's very large on a ship this size. The shutters go down to which bleeds the blue light from the room, leaving you all with the rumbling of motion of traveling through hyperspace. And traveling through hyperspace through the Blue Ring Nebula around Grey Market is a particular bumpy ride, so it's not a calm... it's relaxing because you're no longer being chased by 2 TIE fighters, but it's not a smooth ride. The ship is still jiggling and bouncing, and it's not actually very... I won't get distracted by it. Your ship is, it took some knocks, it took some hits. Coolant has been flooded into various systems, but it's not doing too bad. The Thranta is a hearty vessel. She can handle it. But I don't know if all of you can. Right after jumping into hyperspace, what would you like to do?
You're welcome.
Look at him. Look at what I just fixed over there. Look at him again.
Oh, jeez. I'm just gonna go start actually fixing this.
I'm just gonna put any of the components from the upper dash that have fallen down after we jumped into hyperspace back in and up, and securing them with a little bit of tape.
Even in Star Wars, you can't escape duct tape.
Yeah.
Bonding string.
I'm gonna go to maintenance on my gun. Go to the mess hall canteen. That's the one. Yeah. Just detach and start doing maintenance.
Exactly where you were when we began.
Exactly.
Is this when we heal strain?
He has a routine.
You will be healing strain once I've determined how long your journey is going to be.
Cool.
So at this
because you basically heal strain at the end of. You do heal strain at the end of encounters, but this was a starfighter encounter, so that might be different. I don't know. I'm just gonna pretend that you don't, because it'll be much easier. But you will heal during the journey, so it's all good.
I mean, I'm going to just be sitting at the front of the, just in the pilot's chair, not moving, just kind of rubbing my forehead.
The astromech droid that you brought on board, R5T3, that is currently painted a bright neon green, unplugs from the Navi computer. Its head just slowly to you, Jack, and you just feel the stare of this little droid.
I've not turned around yet.
You could just hear like a thunk as its like third leg, and it will just like wheel and go back into the canteen, leaving a trail of neon paint as it does.
At least we weren't losing.
Yep. Fair point for now.
Carrie will similarly unplug, turn to Jack. This is again a similar word, and will say, "I don't think he likes you."
Well, I'm not surprised. I painted in neon green. It worked. It worked, though. Shouldn't have worked. It worked, though. Oh, we're in so much trouble.
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
Don't worry about him.
He's in the walls.
Currently, yeah.
Literally, I am. Benefit to being 3 feet tall is you can crawl out of the ship to fix things.
Well,
So I suppose we've kind of painted ourselves into a corner as to which bounty is being paid out here, huh, Carrie?
That is yet to be seen.
Well, it's not exactly going to the Empire. Currently going to where the presumably the droid wants to go, which, if you're correct, is back to its owner.
Yeah, you can just straight up see like that you're currently set in to travel out and up and around to Alderaan.
Basically, trying to give a bit of a diversive path, though.
Yeah.
So you're not. Yeah.
Well, you just have to. There's just because hyperspace. Yeah. You have to travel hyperlines. There's no way around it. The information that R5 has beamed into your computer, being an astromech droid, is just a very detailed account of the Commodore run, which is basically from here to Alderaan. So definitely a route that the droid knows well, and you're traveling that way, but you're gonna actually be quite a while before you even get to the major hyperlanes. So that's good.
Okay. So presumably back to his owner.
Her head just rotates to look into the mess hall, the canteen, which you can just see from the no one closes the doors here. But that door doesn't really close very well anyway.
It's a barn.
And just to see the droid, and doesn't say anything.
Very quiet.
I am analyzing the situation.
And what analysis have you gathered at this point in time?
R5T3 wishes to be returned to Oronta Regal, which it claims has been kidnapped by the Empire.
Kidnapped usually means captured. Captured usually means killed.
There are ways to decipher this information.
Yes. Yes, there are very dangerous ways. Extremely dangerous ways that would put us all at risk.
How would you plan to deliver a droid to an individual of whom you do not know their current life status?
I would go and talk to people who might know this person first. Communication is kind of important.
Communications are important. If this individual is also important and was captured by the Empire, there would be communication records of it.
Yeah, there would be. Which is easier to get from friends than it is to get from enemies.
You just kind of look down and then look back up. There is a communications relay on Commodore.
Why do you know that?
I have been to many places.
Okay, fair enough. But do you know where that communication would have gone?
She does just kind of pause and like head turns down, the light kind of flickers as she analyzes things, and then looks back to you and says, "The Imperial Navy bounces communications through communications relays and archives everything that goes through due to their regulations. If there is a relay tower on Commodore, which there is, there will likely be a connected Imperial Navy archive."
Okay, so assuming that we go in there, manage to sneak in without being detected, without being identified, get this information, pull it out, then somehow leave after they realize that this information has been stolen, because let's be honest with you, that information is not going to just be available without it being also rigged for some kind of alarm, as all Imperial information would be. If, by some stretch of the imagination, we manage to get in there, get this information, and get out and off of that planet without any form of detection, then what? We don't know. It's a gamble. It's an absolute gamble.
Her head turns to the Navi computer, which of course has lovely little, like almost 8-bit displays or vector displays, and just points and says, Commonor is on the way.
You are very difficult and very persistent. Why do you want to go to Commonor?
Information is key to success.
Yes. We're also then stopping off with a wanted droid at an Imperial base, where you are a bounty hunter who can submit this bounty to the Empire for a significantly greater income if they go to the Empire with this droid.
You do not trust me.
I don't trust anybody. I barely trust Voka. And we've been traveling together for a very long time.
The Chadrafan is inside the walls of your ship.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Rattle, rattle.
Yeah.
But Gratz, you already know I don't trust you, don't you?
At this point, just like a hatch on the floor directly underneath you guys opens up. And Gratz's head just pops up with like his goggles on, just covered in grease and stuff, and be like, why would you not trust me? After I just got us out of that situation back there? Are you kidding me right now?
I'm just gonna push his head back down into the grate and close the grate and step on it.
Yeah.
Just as well as I do.
I would encourage you to think upon this situation. Why would such a little droid be so important to both parties?
Because they have information. As you say, information is important.
The bounty isn't for the memory inside the droid's central processing unit. It is for the droid.
But you said they don't want the droid for parts, so what makes you think that they want the droid itself necessarily either? What value to them does this droid bring?
She will actually open a hatch on her chest compartment and pull out a bounty fob.
Yep.
And press the little button on it, and it comes up with a little hologram of... I mean, it could be any R5 unit, you know? And the bounty. And it says, wanted alive, or wanted activated, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or intact. That would be the kind of wording of it.
So what would you do if you were trying to get familiar with a bounty and trying to figure out why it was activated rather than just bringing it in activated? If you were trying to get the information as to why rather than just doing, what would you do?
That would be against Bounty Guild code.
Yes, it would. I'm not part of the Bounty Guild.
See, he does kind of straighten up at that. Very, you know, that strain of logic.
Mm-hmm.
I would look for all information available. Information from both sides of the equation.
Right. So, what you're suggesting is we get information from Commodore. I think that's reasonable. I think it's not an unreasonable thing to do. But you have to keep in mind, then we have to get out and get to Alderaan to get that information from the other side, if you're suggesting that, right? And I agree with you. I do. It's just extremely dangerous. I would need to know that you would be helping us and not just turning the R5 droid into the Empire first chance you get.
I am helping you.
Yes, you are currently. Will you continue to do so?
There is a slightly longer than comfortable pause.
Uh-oh.
Our interests align. I am more curious to why the Alliance to Restore the Republic is interested in this droid. The Empire has bounties on many such things.
The Empire, in all likelihood, wants this droid because it's related to someone who was captured, and if this person who was captured really had any purpose or presence, then a droid who was their companion, partner, whatever the case may be, has value inherently within that, and it could honestly just be to bring it in fully activated in front of this person and destroy that droid in front of them just for psychological torture. There could be any number of reasons why they bring it in. To be honest with you, I don't really care why the Empire wants to bring this droid in. I'm really curious why the... I don't even remember what you called them.
The Alliance to Restore the Republic.
That's a very cumbersome name. They really need to come up with something better.
Some people simplify it to the Rebellion, but that holds less information within it.
I suppose so. I think they need to come up with something in between. But anyways, the Alliance to Restore the Republic. I'm more curious why they want the droid and not why the bounty isn't for us to return the droid and the droid's owner. What information is on that droid about that owner?
At this point, a little side hatch will open from the wall. Renzel's pop up and be like, well, have you asked it?
No, not yet.
Well, you probably should, because it might know the answer to your question. Also,
the droid does not like him.
Alright, that's a good point. I mean, hard to blame the little fella. I will ask the droid. But, I mean, it obviously likes me. But, the pressing matter, and I'll just start, like, climbing out at this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna
like
fucking
Frank Reynolds coming out of the couch.
Yeah. Just like
out.
Throw and like come off and there's just like a wire on it. You go, huh? Just throw that in there. Just like stuff it into the hatch. Just be like. The other thing is that the Empire also might have something that we are in dire need of. Parts, Jack. Parts. Look at me. Do you see this ship?
I see you.
Have you seen what's inside of this ship?
Yes, I've seen. Yes.
I know you haven't. Otherwise, you would not be flying it right now. But the point is, if we're able to pick up a few little odds and ends around there while we're in there committing war crimes, then, you know.
Commodore has one of the highest regarded spaceports in the galaxy.
Precisely. You know those guns? You know the guns that don't turn backwards? You know the guns that only shoot people in front of you? When it seems like your primary purpose in life is running away from people?
Hey,
Real smart choice, by the way. Whoa.
I would like to point out that this ship has been around for a long time and those guns have never been changed out. They were an original feature on this ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to change it because you don't change out.
Do you still wear the
hardware.
clothes that you wore when you were a child?
Yes. I was a very tall child.
How embarrassing. The point is, if we're going to be out here flying around and getting shot at by dudes and way faster ships, you're going to want a way to turn these guns around. And unless you want to disassemble some of the stuff in the dining area, which I feel is out of the question.
I mean, we could.
That was a joke. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, look, you're presenting me with options here, right? That's what you're doing? You're providing me with options, and then we go through a quote process, and then once you provide me with the quote, we talk about how that value is.
Let's just steal some shit from the Empire and make our guns go backwards.
Gratskudan makes an interesting point. We have the perfect cover to go to Commodore. This is a freighter that has seen better days.
I hate that you're right. I hate that you're right.
No one will bat an eye.
It was a... Okay, sure. Voka, we're going to Commodore.
This is a long pause. What?
At this point, Voka, you may notice that R5 is like right next to you, looking at your machine, your gun, and there's a little service arm reaching.
No.
I'm gonna walk over now. I'm gonna see where the R5 droid is going at this point.
It's going towards your sabacc table.
Good, fine. I am going to grab one of the rags, and with some paint remover, I'm going to walk over to it and start cleaning off.
That's the droid. He doesn't like it.
I'm gonna start cleaning off the neon green paint.
He's wheeling away.
I am doing the same thing I did before and backing him into a corner slowly. And
the little arms spring out and just start waving around. There's like a corkscrew and a little.
I'm just going to clean off the paint that we put on you to get you out of that starport. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Do you like the neon green now?
Carrie walks up behind you and says, "He says that you violated him."
He's not wrong, but it was necessary, and I'm very sorry for that. But this was to get you out safely.
I'll just come over and say to the droid and be like, look, he's not used to sensitive touch. He is a slaver after all. It's hard
That's just not true. It's just not true.
I'll say, look, just come with me and I'll get you all cleaned up, all right? I'm going to try to convince him.
Please give me a charm roll, Gratz. I am actually going to set the difficulty, but you do have... So please just press charm. I can actually set everything for you. Because I'm cool like that. Yeah, I was told on my YouTube comments that basically everything I set up sets up for you, so I just have to pay attention instead, and that's going to make much less mistakes. That's good. That's a success. Well, actually, that's not a success. That's an advantage. It's a neutral with advantage. R5 turns to Voka and points with an arm. It's like, bah.
Voka, can you please come over here and
up? He trusts you because you're like...
I'm gonna toss Voka the rag without even looking and just toss it back to him.
He'll catch it with like there's like no sort of like interactions. Like you told him to do something, he's gonna go do it.
And I just walk away, not even checking to see if he caught it, and I'm just walking back over. And I'm gonna go prepare a space for both Carrie and R5 on the ship in quarters. I'm giving them both quarters basically to set up.
Yep.
I don't know what a droid needs. We'll see.
Voka will happily help him get rid of the paint.
What are you going to be doing, Gratz? Are you going to be hanging out?
Yeah, just a bit of this, bit of that. Basically just going to be really just getting a good look at understanding the ship and its components.
You're going to try and reduce some of the strain and trauma that the ship experiences?
It's similar to Stars Without Number. You can't do it whilst you're in Journey. It's battle and
just
take over time.
I'm not really repairing anything.
Yeah, you're just examining the ship.
I just want to know, like...
Assessing.
If, like, for example, if we were going to get guns that turn around, how would we do that? What would we need to do that? Like,
why don't you give me a mechanics check? One moment, please. Please make your roll, Gratz. Excellent.
Oh my god.
This ship, you've actually seen ships like this. You've seen this kind of light freighter before, the Citadel class, I believe. They are extremely versatile, and very tough. I mean, this ship, like, you can complain, but realistically, to say there's nothing wrong with it is incorrect. Functionally, everything is fine. This kind of ship can take a lot of a beating. It's actually... The main things that aren't working are there's a couple of non-functional subsystems. There were gravity clamps on both wings that are broken. It looks like something was dropped from both of them quite aggressively during like a drop dive, and it's broken both of them. You could have extra cargo on those, or even small air skiffs or something, which, hey, if you can, why don't, Exactly. When it comes to turning the guns around, because those guns are on the wings, you just need time in a goodish quality starport. You could do it in a nothing starport as long as you just had time, but in a good starport where you can actually get like cranes in and stuff, that actually won't.
So that is to turn them around without having the ability to turn them around forward, correct?
Yeah, so
yeah, they're turrets, but they
question
only
is-
have an arc of movement. So it's, do you want them facing forward or do you want them facing backward?
So I guess the question that Gretz probably wants to ask is, how do we make them swivel the full 180?
Be able to go in either direction. Yeah.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a lot.
That's gonna be that would probably end up needing assistance and money spent for that one.
Oh,
I
no,
would
maybe we'll
assume
steal
as
the
much.
parts that might fit the money bill. We'll see.
Yeah, if you could
First, we
steal
need
the
to
part
fix
of a
the
similar
grav clamps
turret.
and then use the. We need to fix the grav clamps and use the grav clamps to steal the part.
You're not wrong.
Is my conclusion
Look,
from this
hey,
assessment.
Well, Gretz, first of all, let me just be clear about this. The grav clamps work. At least 2 of them work.
See, that's the thing. It's like having one leg that works. You can hop around, but you're not going to be doing so very fast.
Okay, so what would it take for us to fix the grav clamps? Gretz.
Oh, just a little bit of elbow grease and like probably some new grav clamps.
Good, great, thank you. So we need to fix the grav clamps to steal the grav clamps to.
No, we need to steal the grav clamps to fix the grav clamps to steal a bunch of other stuff.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you want us to become thieves.
No,
Yeah,
what I'm
not
saying is I
currently.
want you to become a thief. I've been a thief for like a long time.
Voka, have you ever?
Touche.
You have to say that one again. It got lost in the joyous
Voka.
laughter.
Have you ever been a thief?
I mean, he stole that little droid's heart.
So he's like stuck in droids. Show me. You want me to answer that?
Nope, I don't. I don't want you to answer that.
There is a like a.
Yeah, he's stolen stuff.
That does not surprise me. Gratz, I know you can't speak droid.
Sometimes some communications transcend all language barriers.
You know, I think that's very reasonable in some circumstances. Good. So I do want to note here, you guys are assholes, and you're making me become a criminal. I'm not a criminal. I'm a noble person's child. That is what I am. And I have never committed a crime before in my life.
Which slave trade does your family own? I forgot.
We don't own a slave trade. I don't do any slave trading. I actually ferry.
Oh, so you don't actually do the trading, you just do the transportation.
No,
Okay.
I ferry diplomats. I ferry diplomats from one location to another. I live
I mean, in a way, a
for
diplomat is
actual
just a
people.
slave to the state.
Well, okay, you know what? Fair. You have me there. Honestly, that's why I never wanted to be a diplomat myself.
Hence the life of crime, I suppose.
I am a good person. I've never committed a crime before in my life.
Ha!
Never,
Well,
not once.
just-
Until
That's
today.
in game.
Until today. Yeah, it's in game. Let's
Just-
clear about that.
I've never committed a crime. Ha!
In game.
I mean, look, if we want to start talking about what is and what isn't a crime, we could be here all night. I mean, the idea of law, morality, good and evil, it's all malleable. I mean, what my people consider a crime, you might consider just like a walk through the park on an afternoon on a beautiful day.
I'm a pilot. I fly people from point A to point B. That's what I do. That's
Okay.
it. That's all I do.
I disagree. Why do you have guns on your ship if you're just a pilot?
Because that was a ship that was given to me. It came with the guns.
But if you were to take the guns off, you could sell them for money, and
I'm the
your ship
son
would be
of a
lighter
noble.
and therefore faster. So that would lead me to believe that you wanted to have the guns because you liked the power. You liked having the feeling of the guns in your ship, didn't you, Jack? You're crazy.
No, they only point forwards. They're useless.
Yeah, so you can kill the innocent people that you get caught in your crosshair.
Gratz,
I'm just gonna
I'm
start
starting
walking
to
away at
realize
this.
that you are trying to weave a narrative here, and I would like to point out that it is very unfair and inflammatory, and I believe that what you are looking for is a term called gaslighting.
What does that mean?
Have a nice rest of the journey, Gratz. And I walk away
Yeah, I'll just start chuckling and walk back to my room.
So, is there anything any of you want to do during this little hyperspace jaunt? It's going to actually be. I was gonna have it be. I have to check the Star Wars Galaxy map. I do, and I encourage you, chat, if you want to. I am using the Star Wars Galaxy map and the hyperlanes provided.
I have put the link in the chat as
You
well.
are a sexy god among men.
So
Yeah, it's not that far to Commodore, so it's actually going to be 2 days hyperspace travel.
I want to spend some time with Carrie's help researching Commodore.
Cool.
I want to learn as much as I can about it. Basically, I want her to do the checks, and I just want to get the information.
That is possible.
Because I will be honest with you, if it is a knowledge check, I don't know it.
Yep, I'm gonna maintain my gear because
I'm
I
pretty
have
sure
a feeling
it's
I'm gonna need it.
I can
Is it
do
a
it.
core
I
world?
can do it.
Hold on. Actually, is it a core world?
Ooh, Commodore is in the colonies, but it's basically a core world. I would allow this to be a core world check.
Okay, then I would be happy to roll it. It's the
Okay,
only one I know anything about.
it'll be a 2 difficulty with a blue dice. I have set that up for you. Please. No, I have not set that up. Incorrect. Alert. I've set that
2
up.
difficulty, blue die.
I've done it. You don't do it. Me do it.
I'm not touching it. I'm just gonna double
Roll
check that I don't have
away.
any additional die. I don't have any additional die. That is a success and a triumph.
Oh my
with a
god!
threat. That's a wild ride.
That is a wild ride.
wild
Uh,
wide.
A wild wide.
A wild wide.
That's what I was called back in high school.
Oh,
So, on the journey, it's best to amuse yourselves during hyperspace travel. The Thranta doesn't have the fastest hyperdrive. It doesn't have the slowest either. It goes from 1 to 15, 1 being the fastest. You have a hyperdrive class 2. So, it's fast enough for all your purposes. But you still need to amuse yourselves during the travel. And using Carrie's access to the HoloNet is very useful. She seems to be very good at accessing the HoloNet and wireless communications in general. You've actually seen her wirelessly hack things, slice things before.
very cool.
Commodore is a starport planet. The planet itself is quite deserty, with mountain ranges, but the planet is a trading hub. It's literally one of the biggest trading hubs in this sort of sector, definitely. And this part where, again, sort of similar to Grey Market, it kind of would lead you out towards the outer rims. So there's a lot of the more fringe freighters from further away and stuff going there. But it is under Imperial control. It was under Republic control, and it just, when the Empire became the Republic became the Empire, it just was like, yay! Taxes!
It just didn't change.
It just didn't change.
Yeah. New boss.
There have been changes happening in the last couple of years, which really just make it even more advantageous for a freighter or something. There have been laws that kind of against like having large dirty freighters enter orbit and stuff like that. It doesn't matter now. So that you can basically pump up as much money from this trading hub. There are many cities on the planet, all of them having really big trading hubs. The one you'd want to go to is Chasson City, which for all intents and purposes you might as well just call Commodore City. The quality is very similar to a core world, you know? You may have even heard about the city before because of how amazing its food scene is. But also excellent starport, excellent for trading. The starport has all the facilities you'd need. It's the kind of place where a pilot or a ship captain never needs to leave the facility. They can do all the trade there. Imperial customs have some degree of control, but you should be able to sweep by that. And actually part of this research, because you get a triumph, you essentially preload in all the sort of things you're going to need to send Imperial customs as you're going through to... Not illegal. You might be omitting some information. You might be sliding some past by, some things by. But the illegality alarm will not go off. But that's one of the things you started preparing. In Chasm City is an Imperial Communications relay tower. It is actually built on top of a large hotel. This isn't like Coruscant, where it's layers and layers and layers and layers of city, but a big city in Star Wars has a little bit of that, and that is literally one of the things that happens. It doesn't seem like it would have the largest retinue. You know, this is not an Imperial military planet. It probably won't have that great defenses. Carrie's thinking is there's kind of two ways you can go about this. You can either get to an archive inside the relay, like inside the structure, and take the physical like data tape. She says that would be useful because the files would be decrypted inside their own archives, but more heavily defended. The other option, because she's a specialist in wireless communications, is actually slice the relay itself and then beam the information to the ship and decrypt it on the ship. Which would be less dangerous, but would require more technical know-how and might require someone climbing on a relay tower dish.
And also might, in theory, point them to us.
In theory, although it would really just be sending out another encrypted signal. If you're careful, it won't be obvious.
There is a risk of failure there, depending on the.
There are risks both ways. There are risks for both paths, but one is more boots on the ground than the other. Mm-hmm. Of course, you wouldn't need to send everyone to the communications relay as well. But those are your options that you can start thinking about as you're going through. Is there any other information you would like to know about Commodore and Chasm City, William?
I mean, I guess just in terms of type of starport that it caters to. You mentioned that yes, it's very good for freighters and trading vessels, but do they have a specialization in that? Like, do they stick with large starships?
It's large freighters usually stay in orbit.
Right.
This is happening less so now, but they still wouldn't be in the big cities as much. So ships your size and a degree or two bigger would be the ones that you would expect to see in the import. Large freighters usually would stay in orbit and send things up and down.
Right.
The regulations have got a bit more lax on that, as pollution regulations have been removed.
So with that in mind, then I guess the next question is, because these are the types of ships that will be landing, parts allocation, do they have in-house parts distribution?
Yeah, like I said, if you stay in the major Chasm City starport, you can do everything you need in a building. They have in-house engineers and mechanics and warehouses and trade depots, things like that. Now, another option, of course, is to use a smuggler's starport, which means you won't be going in on customs. Those people are often quite shady, but you. I
am a by-the-books boy.
We're not
exactly. That is another option, though, just in case.
This is the thing, though.
You can also always dock it, just land in the deserts around the cities, because it's literally deserts and cities. Desert cities, desert cities, ravines.
Literally, as I see Jack getting ready to go into a port, I'm just going what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Are you trying to get us killed?
No.
Why are you flying into an actual spaceport?
Because this is where we can actually get access to the relay, which is our primary function of going to this place.
Right, but this is also where we can get access to having our ship searched by a bunch of white armored knuckleheads.
So this conversation will be happening while you're communicating. Well, before you're communicating with the relay tower, you've come out of hyperspace, and you can see Commodore there as a little orange and yellow orb. And the thing of note, while this conversation is happening, the shutters come up because you're not in hyperspace. You don't want to look in hyperspace too long; you can go mad. You can, and this doesn't happen in most planets, you can see freighters and other ships just hanging out around the planet. That's how busy this planet is as a starport.
So look. Our other option is to go into a smuggler's port.
Correct.
We were just at a smuggler's port.
We were.
And do you know what happened?
Remind me.
Overrun by Imperials.
That's true.
Because they were able to figure out that that droid was somewhere on that planet.
Mm-hmm.
So, by that logic, they can probably figure out that that droid is going to be somewhere on this planet, right?
Yeah, sure.
And where will they check first if we just came from a smuggler's port?
Well, the customs officers will probably check the ship first.
Will they?
Now, the neat thing about the customs, a major starport like this, yeah, there's Imperial customs, but it's not actually managed by Imperial personnel. It's managed by the, like, Freighters Guild or something like that. It is managed by their own people. So
And
you
I
have
would
a
give
little.
that-
If you are an entirely good boy,
I have done nothing illegal in my entire life. They have no
Says
reason.
the man who just outran a squadron of TIE fighters.
It's not illegal to outrun TIE fighters, Gratz.
Have you heard of resisting arrest?
Yes.
Because I have. I've done it many times, and now so have you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was there.
I really don't know what you're referring to. I was just flying us out of a port and into a hyperspace lane.
Great. The blockade is a law, too, in and of itself, right?
Is it though?
Yes.
Is it though?
Yes?
Is it though?
Is there an echo in here?
Gratz, buddy, pal. Just because you've done illegal things does not mean that everything I do that seems similar to something you've done is also illegal.
Okay, it is, but listen to me for
No,
a
but
second.
see, here's the thing. The Empire is racist as shit. So a lot of the things that you've done that are illegal would not be illegal for me. Because I'm a human.
Exactly. And look who's on the ship.
Yeah, fair.
And then I look over to Boca and then at the droid.
Yeah, to be fair, Voka
Back
is
to
very
you.
much not one of their favorite people.
You're dealing with a literal criminal, a former, I'm assuming, member of the Rebel Alliance.
Nope.
That's
Oh, that one. Okay.
Him? Yeah, maybe him.
You,
Me.
not criminal.
Yes, me, a not criminal with proper
Orange,
paperwork.
Orange Man.
Orange Man. Who is Orange? Hold on, who is Orange Man?
it's funny because I don't know if I've ever told you this. Carrie also has orange paint.
Oh.
Like very faded, a very faded orange paint.
This is,
Okay, look,
is he
Gratz,
talking about us?
I can understand where you're coming from. Okay, I really do. But you have to keep in mind, if we go into this regular ass starport, do you know how not suspicious that looks?
Yes, it looks
And-
normal.
And if we go into a smuggler's starport, can you remind me how suspicious that looks?
It doesn't look suspicious at all if you don't get caught.
We will get caught. Because we are a ship that was
Well,
just
all right, you know what?
given
You know
by
what,
the Empire.
Jack,
All that
look at me. Look at me.
I am looking at you.
Oh no.
I am looking at you.
You are absolutely right. You are not even close to a good enough pilot to get us into a smuggler's port without being detected. I am
Correct.
so sorry. I thought you were the best pilot in the star system, as you claimed, but that's okay. That's okay.
Actually, he claimed he was not the best pilot in the star system.
Correct.
He's
How
doing
dare-
that
how
thing that you
embarrassing.
always do on me, the reverse psychology thing.
Yeah, he is. He's trying.
I'm just simply stating the facts. I was misinformed. You need to be more honest about your skills
This
here.
is Commodore Starport Control. You are cleared for landing in Bay 13. Over.
That is the worst bay. That's my unlucky.
Hold on for a moment. Hold on for a moment, please.
Commodore Starport, this is the Thranta. We're happy to take in Bay 13 as our landing zone. Thank you very much, and we look forward to speaking with you in the future. Over.
And as the Thranta swooshes down to the planet, we can have a little Star Wars wipe, which I really should have set up for this stream. And I'm impressed, but I'm sad that I didn't do that.
Huge mistake.
Huge mistake. I will have to see if I can
set
do it
it
for
up
next
during
week.
break.
No, I need a proper, like, fuzzy wipe. Yeah, like, you know, I want it to look
I know the one.
like it's come right from the ancient days of George Lucas. But it's been 2 days of travel. You heal 2 strain, and the ship also heals 2 strain during that travel. I believe you also heal wounds during sleep, but the ship does not heal hull damage during 2 nights off.
When the ship sleeps, it doesn't heal hull damage.
Nah.
Weird.
But it does go
Weird,
down
that.
2 strain. You also all go down 2 strain. Great. So, we're going to take a little break. And then we'll be on Commodore Starport. Lovely. We'll be back in a moment.
Bam, ba, ba, bam.